Hi, today we're joined by Matt Treml, who leads the finance systems and engineering teams at Yelp. I'm excited to be having this conversation today because, much like most of you, whenever I'm looking for a great new restaurant or I want to discover a new business, I trust Yelp. And in a time when customer centricity is so important, we have a wonderful opportunity to see how Yelp is moving along on their transformation journey. Matt, it's so great to have you here with us today.
Thanks, Tansy. It's great to be here. For those in the audience, I'm Matt Treml. I lead our financial systems and engineering teams at Yelp. I've been working in the systems technology space for over the last 20 years with a major focus on Oracle ERP for the last 15 years. And that leads us really to where we moved in with Yelp of a major transformation of our finance and procurement into Oracle Cloud, moving from on-prem to the cloud. But let's talk a little bit about Yelp. So Yelp is all things local. We serve a wide variety of customers and businesses' local needs. Our guiding mission is connecting people with great local businesses. As of the end of 2021, we had 83 million unique visitors on desktop and mobile, 244 million cumulative reviews, and 5.8 million active claimed local businesses. The monthly average for the Q2 2022 number, we had 569,000 paying advertising locations. Our breadth of high frequency categories drives consumer traffic with the highest value. And then just a little bit of our journey. We started this back in 2020, and it's been a multi-year journey, but we're finally live here in July of 2022.
That's great. So Matt, what about your job at Yelp excites you, and why do you like working for Yelp?
It's actually really amazing seeing the stories of local businesses grow from the value Yelp offers them. And the other part of it, just living the company values. They're our guiding force for the many experiences that are created at Yelp. They're just not a poster on the wall. They provide a framework for how we make decisions, who we hire, how we promote, and how we get things done. We live through our values, being tenacious, authentic, protecting the source, being unboring, and playing well with others.
I love that. What were the key business challenges at the beginning of the journey that your team was looking to solve?
Yeah, I mean, our main focus, we needed to be able to grow and scale. We looked at our current on-prem system and thought if we really wanted to be able to scale with Yelp's growth, Oracle Cloud's the right place to be, and being continually updated and innovating. Our on-premise wasn't going to get us there where we wanted to be as an organization.
And what were the systems that you were on previously?
So for about the last decade, we've been on Oracle EBS. We've been a customer there for a while. We reviewed basically other core financial system providers. We also did a peer company review to make sure we were positioning ourselves correctly for the future.
And can you tell us why you started where you started? Like, why did you decide to start on the journey where you did in the process?
Yeah, so about 3 years ago, we kind of came up with a conversation around this. I think this is also roughly about the time Oracle had kind of talked through, EBS not being the main area of focus for innovation, and that was really an area for us around Oracle Cloud. And so, like I said, about 3 years ago, there was a conversation coming up, like, should we start moving to the cloud? We saw a lot of customers already moving there. We saw a lot of people in our same cohorts moving there. We also tend to do a lot of things in-house, and so that's an approach we took here too. We didn't really outsource the implementation. We delivered it internally. We didn't go with a big bang. We went with a very phased approach with it. That was really to prove and understand the application and produce confidence in our teams that we could take on a larger project, delivering the overall procure to pay and record to report. We ran, I think one of the main areas of this conversation is around employee change. And so we did really focus around that change management. We ran a whole separate work stream and making sure it fit into our timeline. So we took that all into consideration on our delivery. And I think the other big part of it was we had full executive support and sponsorship on this whole delivery.
Why did you select Oracle Cloud? Like, what key capabilities made you think it was the best fit for Yelp?
Yeah, I mean, I think the one of the very areas was the innovation and continually being up to date. The quarterly release cycles was a big area to us, along with just bringing some of the best practices across industries and an always up to date platform. That was something, looking at our peers, like we weren't first into it, and I'm sure we're not going to be last into the Oracle Cloud. So it's good to see that we're amongst our peers, but we're also looking at it from being on an overall supported and protected platform. Another area that was really critical for us was how we integrate our current ERP system into our other tech stacks, and that was actually pretty difficult for us. Moving to Oracle Cloud, having APIs available was another major move on how we can transform our business processes. And another advantage was actually just having one vendor for the full tech stack. There's one vendor now to go to talk about, well, where is the direction going, and how are we and continue to enable our business processes.
What are the benefits that you've seen so far?
I think from just kind of talking initially, like the benefits actually started before we even really went live. From the project delivery, we saw increased collaboration. I think, looking at a remote environment, and Yelp is a remote first place, it really helped us lower our employee stress about how people are working, which just made a major change in our core financial platform of success. We're still gauging some of the other, benefits that we're seeing, but we do expect our month-end and quarter-end processes to be more efficient, enabling better business insights throughout the process. I think security is another big area. It's a good feeling from being a finance system manager to kind of everyone else that's involved that when a 0-day vulnerability comes up, Oracle's going to address it faster than we even could on-prem. That's one of the other things that just actually helps us sleep at night. And I can't harp on this enough, but like always being up to date with new functionality is great. Being on-prem when new functionality was released, it could take many months to even a year or more before we'd even consider incorporating it into our processes. And I think one last area that we're starting to see some fruits from just having the new system in place is self-serve reporting. I think anybody that looks on-prem, they're putting other solutions in place when you have now so many different reporting capabilities within Oracle Cloud.
One of the things that I think is most exciting about having these conversations is giving advice to other innovators, folks who know they need to go on this journey, want to go on this journey, but especially when you're talking about sort of your financial systems, there's considerable risk. So if you were speaking to yourself at the beginning of this process, or just reaching out to your peers, what are some of the lessons learned?
I think I probably have a pretty good laundry list of these. I think first you'll be surprised at different ways to manage the information in your processes. In today's world, even on-prem, you probably had to build a lot of custom things, be it web ADIs, forms, reports. Cloud's really different. I think you have to look at it from standardization versus customization. And if you move down the route of customization, you're going to start losing some of those abilities to benefit from the quarterly update cycles and just the new innovations Oracle's pushing into those cycles. I really do think you need to look at what Oracle offers as part of the package around what you can and cannot do. Using the full capabilities of the system and the process they can enable, using SmartView to its full extent, using the FBDI and ADFI templates. I think the other part that's really understanding what is valuable process internally. So like this is really going down to is the processes we have really truly creating customer value? And if it's not, is it something you really need to be doing? That's one of the big questions that we had when we started seeing difference between how we did it today versus how Oracle designed to handle that process. You really do need to take a step back and question the way we're doing something. Is it really that important? And if it is, okay, then let's go figure out a process. But if it isn't, what's wrong with the way that Oracle is looking at it, or the way that Oracle will work for that process? I think that's another area that you really do need to look at, because on-prem, a lot of customers go, well, I can just go make a customization. I can go change some code. And we're not going to do that on cloud. We can go build extensions, but now you have to support those. You're going to increase your cost. You're going to have to do regression testing, even more so in the quarterly cycles. And then I think, another thing is with change management, like I think the main focus of this conversation too, that us going into it, it wasn't just about training, and that was a big piece of it. We treated it at its own work stream. We identified the stakeholders up front and the level of involvement they needed throughout the project. And we really wanted to make sure they felt accountable and had ownership throughout the project and delivery cycle. And so we kept them involved all throughout it. And so when we came out of our delivery, they probably knew just as much as our team members that were delivering the project. Another big area, I think, is communication. As much as we thought we had a great change management plan, and we had a good one, we included a lot of people, but there was more communication we could have done. I think the big thing is communicate, and then over-communicate again. You're better off hearing from people saying, stop sending this to me, versus being reactive and waiting to hear from somebody. I think it's probably one of our bigger lessons learned that we learned after the implementation of, really just get more people involved and over-communicate.
That was great. Matt, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Tansy.